In this video, I introduce you to some huge worms I thought were Canadian night crawlers. I find out now that they are actually Arctiostrotus vancouverensis, an ancient and native species to southern Vancouver Island and the Olympic Peninsula of Washington State. They are beautiful worms, growing very, very long, but they do like cold habitats like the Canadian night crawler. Although I moved these worms into an indoor bedding bin, I soon realized that they deserve to live their lives outside, and I moved them to our garden, where they now inhabit some garden towers with holes in the bottom. Then they can go as deep as they like into the terrain and up to the top to feed. I planted a sunchoke tuber 2 years ago, and I topped the container with wood chips. And over the next 2 summers, I was delighted to see that worms moved into the container and were breaking down the wood chips into incredible soil. And we just harvested our sunchoke, got some great chokes out of it. And because we're going to put the dirt back into our garden, we grabbed a few of the worms that were living in the container. These are the ones that presumably made the wood chips into such incredible broken down material. And so we're in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. And I think that's a little one there. I think that container is empty now. I did a video yesterday with the same container, and there was still a worm left in it, and I think that there is still a worm left in it now, but I'll put water in there. Anyway, let's take a look. I've put them on a damp Kleenex, as they've just come in from a chilly November day, but look at the size of this worm. So I'm in Victoria. Is that a Canadian night crawler? I don't know, but I'm sure gonna get a chart out. There's my hand. It's as long as my hand from the base of my palm to my fingertips. What a beautiful worm. And there are some smaller worms in here. Don't want to disturb you guys too much. My goal is to put these worms to work in my indoor bin, my indoor bedding bin, that is, and there's a mate for them, I would presume, into my indoor bedding bin, and then have the whole thing go out into my garden in the spring. So if these are night crawlers, they are going to live a Canadian winter indoors. Well, Victoria winter. They would have been just fine outside. But, and if they're not night crawlers, then they are the biggest, I don't know. I'm going to have to look up what type of worms these are. They're beauties. And so these are the worms that we found in our tub. We have this one that's looking very red, deep crimson. That is the most typical composting worm that I find in our manures and things like that. And these large worms, I'm just not sure what they are. You know, I'm assuming Canadian night crawlers because we're in Canada. And I've seen a massive snake-like, I say snake-like only because he was huge, worm in on a farm where we were picking up some manure. And he was a good 12 inches long, and that wasn't even elongated. So anyway, these worms and the little leaf I gave them for cover, although they don't seem to be camera shy or bashful at the moment. These worms are going to go into my bedding bin right here, and I'm hoping they'll live a happy winter. Look at the beautiful purple in that worm. Oh my goodness. You know, I've heard about African night crawlers and the purple sheen, but they can't be living here in the Canadian wilderness. Anyway, I'm going to put them in the bin, and hopefully they'll find a happy home here. Look at the beautiful orange. It's like a peachy orange and lilac. Absolutely magnificent.